Hello, my name is Jessie Butler, and I'm here to personally attack you with my Addict TED Talk. Hello, and welcome to my TED Talk in my attic. What better place? Parents expect too much from their kids. They try to push them to unbelievably higher standards than what they can realistically achieve. Even if the parents think that they're doing the right thing, it actually ends up hurting the child and possibly their progression in the real world. And here's how. So let's think about this for a second. What happens if you push a child or a teen too hard? Stress is one of the main factors that cannot be ignored while looking at this topic. If we look at, for example, pressuring your child to get good grades constantly, Amy Morin, a psychotherapist, wrote an article about the dangers of putting too much pressure on kids. She says that while high expectations can be healthy, placing constant pressure on children can be harmful. She also says that kind of pressure will have negative consequences. There are huge risk factors that the parents are putting the child in without fully even realizing it most of the time. Having good grades is amazing. There is nothing wrong with encouraging your child to do his or her best academically or in any other aspect. However, the situation gets more unhealthy and harmful when the parents begin pushing the idea of complete success every single time. That was a small passage from the American Psychological Association. Now, you could also be asking, okay, well, you're saying that I'm putting my child in danger, but how? And that is a simple but really complicated answer. Toxic stress affecting a child's brain development. Big words. Just the same as pressure, there is also positive and negative stress. Yeah. Some negative stress is called distress and or toxic stress. Therefore, not all stress is bad, but it is when it gets out of hand and too aggressive, and that's when the problems begin kicking in and they show themselves and they become a bigger issue. Negative stress can affect a child's long-term and short-term health. That's all there is to it. It's something so simple to understand, but it isn't reinforced and so much that people don't even know about it. Toxic stress has the potential to change your child's brain chemistry, brain anatomy, and even gene expression, says Nationwide Children's, a blog about pediatric experts. Toxic stress weakens the architecture of the developing brain, which can lead to lifelong problems, learning, behavior, and physical and mental health. When a child experiences toxic stress, the hypothalamic pituitary and adrenal, or HPA, hormone axis is overactivated. This results in blood levels of the stress hormone cortisol being higher, which can result in long-term changes in inflammation and immunity. Studies have shown associations between toxic stress changes in brain structure. They also said that high levels of early stress have been linked to impaired behavioral and emotional development, as well as numerous health consequences later on in life, including high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, obesity, and diabetes. Such consequences cost our society in many ways. And that's when we get into the main part of this whole thing. Parents, your expectations are not okay. Samantha Goldblum wrote another article on this matter titled "Parent Expectations Are Set Too High for Children." Very well put. She said if parents push their children to achieve more realistic goals, Students will be less daunted by their expectations and elated when they achieve a certain goal. The higher expectations, the harder it is on a child. And ultimately, this is a lot more common than people think. An anonymous person tweeted this: in its toxic form, stress affects behavioral and physical health, and we need to translate this knowledge into public policies so that we can prevent it. I would like everyone to think about that for like a couple of seconds at least. High levels of early stress have been linked to impaired and behavioral and emotional development, as well as numerous health consequences later on in life, including high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, obesity, and diabetes, says the Urban Child Institute in an article about this matter, which was pretty similar to what I stated back a couple of seconds ago. It's in multiple articles, guys. Okay, so now that I've attacked you all personally, let's think about this. How can we fix this? Here are some main tips that I thought were really helpful from the Psychology Today post. 1. Tell your child that it is okay to be imperfect. Sometimes we forget that kids need to be kids. School becomes driven by grades and not by enjoyment of learning. And if an 85 is good, it's not good enough. Parents. This is not to say that striving is not important. It is important to encourage your child to work hard, but equally important to accept and embrace your child's mistakes and imperfections. Very important. Reward your child's brave behaviors. Number 2. If your child faces his or her fears, reward this with the praise, a hug, or even something tangible like a sticker or a small treat. This is not bribery, but if you establish this as a motivator prior to your child being in the situation, if you reward behaviors, your child will engage in them more often. Number 3, encourage your child to express his or her anxiety. This one, very, very important to me. Validate your child's experience by saying things like, yes, you seem scared. What are you worried about? Then have a discussion about your child's emotions and fears. Number 4, focus on the positives. The more that you are able to focus on your child's positive attributes and the good aspects of a situation, the more that it will remind your child to focus on the positives. Positive, guys. The more that we take this whole entire ordeal more seriously, especially in times like now, and the more that we treat it more like it's an actual problem, the better it will be around for everyone, especially children. And they can have better opportunities and hopefully a brighter future. This was my Attic TED Talk, and I hope you enjoyed me bombarding you with a bunch of nonsense. You know, I was actually this close to doing the whole entire TED Talk with this on, because I thought it'd be funny, but yeah.